to okay, we missed on the recording. Okay, no worries at all.
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, sure. So the postgraduate programs ranges from about 15,000 to 16,800 pounds. And if the student is required, it would be interested into foundation programs, then this is the tuition fees for this year. Okay. So now coming into, so again, I said, normally the agents, one of the biggest concerns that they have is what is the cost, what is the scholarships and all that. So now I'd like to introduce to you the different faculties that we have at the university, the different areas that you're able to promote. So we have three main faculties at the university: the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Faculty of Business and Physical Sciences, and the Faculty of Environmental and Life Sciences. Under the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, we have our School of Art. These are the undergraduate and postgraduate programs. We have the English and Creative Writing. These are the programs. Under Theatre, Film, and Television Studies, these are the areas that we do cover. International Politics, these are the programs that we do have. Our International Politics department is in fact the oldest department in the world. Okay, so we were the first to establish the International Politics department. So we're very, very famous, especially in countries like Thailand and Malaysia. We have the School of Education. These are some of the areas that we do have. Modern Languages, History and Welsh History, Welsh and Celtic Studies. So if it does help you in any kinds of promotion, Prince Charles actually came over to Aberystwyth and did one of these programs. So if anyone has been watching The Crown in season 3, some of the recordings took place in Aberystwyth. Then under our Faculty of Business and Physical Sciences, we have a business school where we have this range of undergraduate programs, and under our postgraduate programs. So we normally only have one intake a year, which is in September. However, in January, we do have an intake for our MBA and I think one of the computing programs. I'll be more than happy to send you the link on the January intake programs later on. I'll pass that on to Bo so that he can circulate it over to you all. Under our computing science program, these are all the areas that we do cover. Physics, these are the programs that we do offer. Mathematics, information studies, and then comes our next faculty, which is the Faculty of Earth and Life Sciences, where we have psychology. All of our psychology programs are BPS accredited. Again, for most of our programs, they all have their accreditation. So if you're looking at the business areas, we are accredited by CIMA, IC, AEW, all those accreditations are there. Geography and Earth Sciences, the Institute of Biological and Environmental Sciences, which is called IBES in short form, where we have our vet school. So we actually have our veterinarian science program where we are working in collaboration with the Royal Veterinarian College, and we have very limited international student seat. However, we have students coming in for animal sciences, or they're looking at zoology and things like that. These are some of the areas that they can look at. Biochemistry, genetics and microbiology, human side of biology, sports and health, ecology, conservation, plant and water. So these are the areas that we do have. So as I can totally understand, it is not easy to promote all the programs. However, as the regional office, I think these are the areas we have seen an interest within the Southeast Asian market. So we have identified 5 main areas to look at, which would be the business school. Of course, business is famous in most of the Southeast Asia countries. And then we are very famous for our law, especially in countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Yeah, Malaysia and Thailand for law and international politics. And we are looking at focusing on the IBERS programs, which is more on animal sciences or biological sciences, those kind of areas, and computing. So these are the 5 areas that we would like to focus on. So business, law, international politics, IBERS, and computing. Okay, so if you have students on the other areas, please feel free to get in touch with us, but we will focus a lot more into these 5 main areas. Okay, so we also offer the options for students where they are able to join in and do an integrated year in industry. Most of the programs do have the integrated year in industry, or if students are looking at study abroad option, it is also possible. Okay, so there is a module flexibility and interdisciplinary areas that students can look at. So all these details can be found on the website itself, which I will share it with you in a short while. So why are we ranked #1 in the UK for teaching quality and student satisfaction, especially for a university that is in a small town? It is because of our academics who are actually leaders in their research areas, but they do find the time to teach. And because we are a small university, our academics basically know all their students by name. In fact, we have a personal tutor assigned to every student. So if a student has any difficulty, not only in terms of academic, whether it's got to do with finance or personal or anything like that, this program tutor is their go-to person when they are in Aberystwyth. To an extent, if the student doesn't attend classes and so forth, the academics actually email them to find out that they're okay, and if there's anything that we could do, and that is the extent that we are able to go forward. So it's a small classroom size, so you stand a better chance at any opportunities that comes along. Okay, we also have the peer mentor programs where students coming in for the first year, they can be guided by students who are doing their programs in their second and third year. So that is the kind of support that we're able to provide to the students. Okay, in terms of now I'm sorry to divert it back into the costings, because I'm sure as when you're saying cost of living, everyone is familiar with the out of London cost of living, which is 9,207. However, in actual fact, Aberystwyth's cost of living only ranges between 6,500 to 8,000 pounds a year. Okay, so not only that you are getting a very high quality education, but it is at a very affordable price. Our cost of living is very affordable, and this is not including the International Accommodation Award. So say, for instance, if a student is going to take the Cottmore accommodation, which is free, for this year alone, okay, for this year alone, the university has agreed students coming in for the first year, they're eligible to apply for the free accommodation for all 3 years of their program. However, from next year onwards, it will only be available for 1 year. So we're still taking in applications. And if there are students who you think are interested into this area, you can look at it. Now, coming back to my topic again. So Aberystwyth cost of living only ranges between 6,500 to 8,000 pounds 1 year. And this is not including the International Accommodation Award. So if you are getting free accommodation, you can bring down your cost of living to literally half of the amount that I have mentioned here. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, you're basically getting high quality education at a very affordable price. So as you can see from the picture behind, these are some of the companies that the university works with, and where students have the opportunity of gaining employability exposure during their studies at Aberystwyth. So besides the industrial placement program, so while they are studying at the university, when there are projects coming in from these companies and the academics are involved, our academics do tend to get the students involved in it as well. So if there are programs which does not have the integrated year in industry, they don't need to worry, because this is still part of their normal program. And so that is why we are very highly employable after graduation. Okay. So these are the typical entry requirements for students UCAS between 96 to 120, IB between 26 to 30. All right. And now I'll just go through quickly through each country's entry requirement as well. So for Malaysian students, we do accept SPM into our foundation. For undergraduate programs, we do accept UEC students and also diploma on a credit transfer. So if you have applicants who are looking at credit transfer areas, they can definitely get in touch with us so that we can guide you on how to go about it. Okay, we do accept SPM 1119 English, and we have this thing called the password test. So for students coming from Southeast Asia region, if they do not have sufficient English qualifications, say for example, they have not sat for IELTS or TOEFL, or they do not have an English qualification, we work in collaboration with this password test where students can sit for the test. It costs about 70 pounds. All right. However, if they do meet the entry required, so say for example, for undergraduate, you're required to get a minimum 6.0. If the student meets a 6.0, the university refunds the 70 pounds back to the student. So it's absolutely free. Okay, so there is that option as well. So for Brunei, these are the entry qualification. I don't know if there's anyone from Brunei. This is for Indonesia, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So for Vietnam,
yeah, let's see Vietnam for a little bit. So we have upper secondary minimum score 8.5, right?
Yes.
But that's for, is it for foundation or can get direct for undergrad?
This will be for the first year entry.
First year entry. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And good. Students who have completed year 12 with a minimum 6.5, then they can apply for the foundation program.
Yeah. So 6.5 is for foundation minimum. Okay. Yeah. Got it. And PG minimum 70%.
Yeah, it's either a 70% or a GPA of 3. So if there are institutions which are out of a 10 instead, then you can get in touch with me and I'll be happy to explain more in detail.
Yeah, fantastic. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
And I believe there is a question here.
Oh, let's see. Sharing opportunity for biomedical science.
For biomedical.
If you could talk about biomedical, if you do have that, that could be good to share some information about that.
Are you talking about the postgraduate program or the undergraduate program?
I think you're talking about postgraduate, right? Yes. Oh, bachelor. Yeah.
Bachelor's. Okay, sure. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm just getting the prospectus out, though you can't.
No problem. Yeah.
So under the biological under the biomedical areas, just hold on. We don't have biomedical sciences for undergraduate. What we have is more specialized areas like biology on its own. We have genetics and biochemistry, microbiology, plant biology, marine and freshwater biology, and biology with climate change. These are the areas that we do have. It is a 3-year program. They all come with integrated year in industry, where we have students doing things like microbial diversity, molecular laboratory skills. And they're all accredited by the Royal Society of Biology as well. What is the minimum entry requirement for foundation level? It depends on which country are they applying for. Are they Malaysian?
I think this is Malaysian.
Okay, if it is Malaysian.
Hugh, just clarify whether you're asking for Malaysian. I think you're referring to Malaysian, right? Yes. Yeah.
Sure. If it's a Malaysian.
So if we could go back to that Malaysia page.
Sure. Oh, I'm sorry. So Malaysian students from an SPM with a minimum 5 credits, there's no specific subject that they are required to complete, but if they do have biology or they have just done sciences, they can still apply for the foundation program. Okay. And if it is a UEC student with a minimum 5 subjects, not including languages, they would be able to apply for the first year entry of the program as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, is that clear for you? Or what about IGCSE?
Okay, with an IGCSE, just hold on, let me check on that. IGCSE, we need 5 subjects as well with a biology. Yeah.
5 with a bit of biology.
With a bit of biology, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Great. Does that answer your question, Hugh, about the IGCSE requirements? Anything else in particular? Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Thank you for clarifying.
That's right.
That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, because we do have a lot of students that go through the IGCSE A level
no
as
problem.
well, as you know in Malaysia. Yeah.
We can still, again, as I mentioned, we can still accept applications. So if you do have any students who are interested to apply for the program, you can still do so. You don't need to apply via UCAS. You can apply directly as well. So you just need to go to the page, the program that they're interested in. Click on, I will explain on that in a short while.
Great.
Okay. Shall I
Very good.
move along?
Very good. Yes, we can move along.
Okay. So is there anyone else on specific country entry requirement?
Vietnam, Indonesia clear, Malaysia quite clear now. Yeah, I think that's good. Someone asked for India, but if you don't have it, I can get that information from you later.
I am
and then
so sorry. I don't have India as of now.
Yes, that's
but
fine.
Let me
that's
just
fine.
show you something very quickly. If you can see, can you see this page?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we could check on this together. If you go under your country region on the website, okay? Yeah. So let's try and go to South Asia and have a look at India. So my colleague in India, Annette, is available. Annette and Zephyr, they'll be more than happy to get to you on any of these queries. So yeah, these are the qualifications required from India. Does this help?
Yes, this is good for foundation, undergraduate, standard 12 for the central state board 75%. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear. Sandeep, if you're unsure of anything, you can ask. But this is good. We can always go back and refer to this website.
Sure. So you can actually just go to your country under ABER's webpage. If you go under your country, there is a whole listing of each regions and the entry requirements for each and every country. And our contact details are there as well. Okay, so if you go onto the accommodation website, there is a full 360 virtual tour of the accommodation, comparison in terms of prices and things like that. All those details are there as well. Okay.
Perfect. Really good.
And so I also have Philippines. If anybody is from Philippines, it's here as well.
Okay, that's good. That's good as well. I don't think there's anyone from Philippines today. Yeah. Okay,
sure. So again, as I mentioned, we still do accept application. Normally, you can put in UCAS application, but we would encourage you to put in direct application. So if you go under each of the individual programs, you will find an apply now button. So if you click on it and you progress through apply directly, you can submit all your documents online and then just drop us an email to say that you've put in your application so that we can tag you to the application that you've placed in. Okay. So basically, I've come to an end of my presentation. So in a quick summary, Aberystwyth University is a very unique place. As I always tell students, it's not necessarily for everyone. However, if you are looking for a beautiful place to study, an amazing student environment, friendly place where you can stand out different from the rest of them, where you don't need to be competing with so many of them, well, Aberystwyth is the place for you. And if you're looking at if costing is an area that you're concerned about with scholarships and things like that, this will be the place for you to look at. All right. So yeah, that's basically my presentation. Thank you so much for your time. And this are my contact details together with my colleague. Basically, both of us handle the Southeast Asia office. So you're more than welcome to WhatsApp or drop me an email or any other, say, for example, if you're interested into Viber or Line or whichever that suits you, you can reach out to us through these numbers.
Very good. Very good. Thanks, Marianne.
Thank you.
Again, to go through that presentation, really, really nice. And I think you gave a great glowing representation of what Aberystwyth has to offer. I got to say, it looks really beautiful, the campus and the town. It's really, as you said before, it's a really like a university town.
Yes.
Feel. It's small, and I think everyone's very friendly. Lots of people know each other as well, and the students must have a strong bond with each other as well, especially after having studying there for a long time as well. So yeah, now that concludes the formal presentation from Marianne. If anyone did have any separate questions related to anything, the scholarship, the accommodation, and other entry requirements, if there's any more questions like that, please feel free to ask now. Please use this opportunity to speak with Marianne. Of course, she knows Aberystwyth in and out, so now is the right time to ask. I guess from me, I guess I just wanted to ask again, or just to clarify again with the accommodation. So Portmore, that's really the one that we're referring to. That's free of charge for international students.
Yes.
And you mentioned that Portmore, all that accommodation, you have your own single room, but the bathroom is shared, right?
That's right. Correct.
Yeah.
So it's a flat base accommodation with about 8 rooms in a flat that shares 2 sets of washrooms. So you have the dry and the wet washroom as well. So 2 sets of washroom, and that every room has a sink as well. So it's just that for washroom, you will need to share it. Okay. And this particular accommodation only for this year, that students coming in for this year, they're eligible to apply for the free accommodation for all 3 years of their studies. From next year onwards, it will only be for 1 year. And when I say free accommodation, it's absolutely free. However, just like any other accommodation, there will be a deposit of £100, which will be refunded to them after their stay, provided they don't damage anything in the room. Okay, which is quite standard everywhere. But besides that, it's absolutely free, and it covers all the bills and the gym membership and everything else is covered. Similarly, for all the other accommodation as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Would you say in the time that you've started to that you've been working with the university, most international students opt for Portmore?
To be very honest,
clear benefits.
Sure. To be very honest with you, as I always tell the students, that is your catch. If you can share your washroom, it's perfectly fine. But I was actually surprised to hear from the students that I've recruited over the years and our alumni that many of them preferred to stay in Portmore, which I was a little taken back as well. Normally, our Asian students would all choose, ensuite accommodation. But many of them chose Portmore accommodation, although it was not free at that point of time. And they said they had an amazing time there because most of the time, those accommodations, Portmore accommodation is not at full occupancy rate. So they had most of, like, once I heard from one of the alumni, she had the whole flat to herself. Again, now that would not be the same scenario, but
but it's possible.
It is possible, yeah.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of rooms available for students.
Yeah.
They all like
really
farmer accommodation. In fact, I was a little concerned whether it would be, run down, and maybe that is why. But no, in fact, the students who went last year, who just graduated this year, they assured that, the accommodation is up to par and they had a good time. So many of them who went last year is continuing on to stay this year as well.
Yeah. We got a question from one of our Vietnam partners. They ask, I have a question about English. Do you offer English class for student before the bachelor program for students that don't have IELTS? Or is there like an English test for student to assess their English level besides IELTS? Maybe like an internal placement test, whether you you have arrangement.
Okay, that's a very good question. Unfortunately, we do not have an English class for students before they sit for IELTS. As I mentioned earlier, we do have the internal English test, which is the password test. There is a cost to it, which costs about £70. However, when you sign up for the test, you have a session to go through practice. So which means the student can get a hang of, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And then you sit for the test. Okay. And when you sit for the test, if you do meet the entry requirements, so say, for example, an undergraduate student is required to get a 6.0 with a minimum 5.5 in all areas. A student does get that. Okay. The university will refund the £70 back to the student. So it's absolutely free, technically. It's just that we need the affirmation from the student in the beginning that they're serious about it. We take the cost of £70.
And could you explain a little bit more about the password test? Because I think a lot of our partners won't be familiar with that. Because for Australia, we have other tests, but password, I don't think many are familiar. Is it online or is it offline? How does it work?
Sure. Password actually works very similar to IELTS. So you're being assessed in 4 areas: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You don't need to go to a test center to do it. It will be done online and we will invigilate. So either Rishka or myself will invigilate online. Okay. So you will make the payment of £70 through the university and we will send you the link for you to practice and sit for the test. So on the day of the test, like for example, one of my colleague Rishka has a password test invigilation today. So we will come online and the student will be online as well. And you can have it in your center or, anywhere. They can be at home as well. It's perfectly fine. And they will go through the session where they will test their mic and they will test this thing and go through the process of doing reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So once you have completed that, within a week, the test results will be sent over by password directly to say what is the score that you have received. So if it is equivalent to the IELTS score that is required, then you get through and it's an entry to the university. Perfect. Can I just add on, say, for example, about the English class for students? So we don't offer English class for students before they go to the university. However, if once they have met the entry requirement and all, and they are in Aberystwyth, there are in-sessional English that is provided to all students. So say, for example, students feel that they need assistance in terms of their presentation or, in terms of, assessing their coursework or whatever it is. There are these in-sessionals which are free for students that students can join in. That is available. But again, that is upon enrollment.
Great. I just think one of our participants didn't understand exactly about the fee. So £70, but then if the student does pass, that's deducted once they pay the fees.
Correct. So it's basically what we need a commitment from the student. So the student needs to make a payment of £70. We charge them £70. All right. And once they have set for the test and they have met the entry requirement, the English entry requirement,
Mm.
okay, we will
Mm.
refund the £70. However,
Perfect.
if they do not meet the entry requirement, we will not refund their amount back.
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah,
Okay.
that's quite clear.
So
Is
only
that
if they
clear?
meet, yeah. So if
The
they
partner
do
that
meet,
asked that question. Mhm.
if they do meet, we will refund it back to the student,
Sure, sure. Yeah,
or more of like deducted from their fees.
very good. Yeah, deduct from the fees
Yeah.
makes sense as well. Yeah. Okay, great. I think that covers that question there. Yeah, if there's any more questions, we still got a little bit of time left. If you do want to ask. Okay, let's see. No more here. How is the nationality breakdown from Southeast Asia? I guess you have a bit more from Malaysia.
Yes, we
and
do.
a little bit,
I'll be very
little bit
honest
less,
with you.
a little bit less from Indonesia and Vietnam, right?
To be very honest, from Southeast Asia, we normally have about 100 students going in every year. And the
Okay.
majority are definitely from Malaysia because of
Mm.
our collaboration with many of the law schools here and our
Yeah.
relationship here. However, I would say we have roughly about 5 to 6 students every year from Thailand, from Indonesia, 5 to 6 from each of these countries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from Thailand, from Indonesia, from Vietnam.
Mhm.
To be very honest, from Vietnam, we mostly have students coming in for the foundation program.
Mm.
So
Yeah, for the foundation. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. So we normally have students coming in for the foundation program. And
Correct.
then which other countries? We have students coming in from Brunei, Philippines, not so. Singapore. Yeah. In fact, for this year, I think we have roughly about 8 from Singapore. From Thailand, we are looking at about 5 so far. Which other countries? Indonesia, we have about four of them roughly for now. So yeah, of course, it's not a bigger cohort, but yes, we do have a steady number that comes in every year. And most of them who do come in are for undergraduate programs, except for Thailand.
Any from Myanmar?
Myanmar, we are just, to be very honest with you, we're just starting. So we hope to get one student this year from Myanmar.
Let's try for that as well.
Yeah.
We have some good partner there as well.
That's really good. That's really good.
Oh, and yeah, speaking of that, do you have like a fast track program? So like second year entry or third year entry for bachelor based on
from Myanmar.
If they've done from Myanmar, like if they've done like diploma or advanced diploma equivalent, could they get, because there's like an Australian school that we work with in Myanmar, and it's advanced diploma level, so it's like equivalent to second year. So yeah, we've got that school often asks whether it's possible to get third year entry or second year entry. I'm not sure if Aberystwyth has that kind of option.
Is very interesting because I used to do that in the previous institution that I came from, but for Aberystwyth University, we have not set, we do not have that arrangement yet. But we'll be more than happy to have a look at. So if you feel that
case by case,
this Australian school is an area that we could look at, please do send us the syllabus. We can look at working on an articulation agreement. So it's a one-off thing. Once it's done, then it's
then it can be set up.
A standard, a standard setup that we can work on. Yeah, we'll be happy to look at.
Cool. I'll send you those details later on then.
That would be great.
Because there is some interest from Myanmar and for
that's
UK
very good.
as well.
In fact, I think the only one that we have who seems almost conversion.
Active.
Yeah, now is a PhD student. So it'll be good to get undergraduate students.
Yes, we aim for undergrad.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Okay. That's it. It seems all the questions are clear. And thanks everyone for your participation again today on this Friday afternoon. It's been a long week for a lot of people, so thanks for joining. And more importantly, thanks Marianne again for your time and your support. And we hope to give you some good students from Southeast Asia, hopefully from Vietnam as well.
I really look forward to that. Yeah. So please feel free to WhatsApp me or message me or drop me an email. I really look forward to it. Any queries, any questions at all, welcome it. So just keep me posted. And thank you so much for letting me share today. Yes. I enjoyed
very good
talking, and it was really good questions. Thank you for bringing them up.
Yeah, thanks everyone for that active participation. All right, thank you again, and have a good weekend, everyone, and I'll see you at the next webinar. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everyone. Thanks, Bo.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.